Bottom of the ninth, up against the odds, running out of time, only got one shot. When it's really do or die, when your back's against the wall, when you fighting for your life, do you believe in you or not? I'm a believer, I believe. I'm a believer, I believe. Second guessing every breath, I'm full of questions. Passes full of cigarettes, alcohol and depression. Therapists and all the different pills can get expensive. All this bottled up aggression, I'm too old to get arrested. Almost died trying to get here. Got high through my best years. Got sober, then I relapsed, then I cleaned up, got my head clear. Sometimes it feels like there ain't to believe in, but I believe that we're out here for a reason. You don't think you're a fighter?
Well, that's a chant we have heard time and time again. We know the debate over guns in the Tennessee legislature seems to be never ending.
A mass shooting leads to debate, nothing happens, and then the next mass shooting and the next debate. For more than a year, News Channel 5's Revealed Investigation has taken a hard look at how Tennessee's Capitol Hill really works, or as some say, doesn't work.
That investigation has been led by our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams. Phil?
Well, after the Covenant School shooting, I began digging through 6 years of legislation. What I discovered are many bills over the years that most Tennesseans would consider to be common sense solutions to try to protect the innocent. But Tennessee's Republican supermajority has repeatedly blocked those bills, arguing the need to protect gun rights.
House Bill 1588 by Leader
House Bill
Kemper.
1161 by Representative
Senate
Stewart.
Bill 1021. Senator Campbell, you're recognized.
Here on Tennessee's Capitol Hill,
This is not a novel piece of legislation.
the debates can sometimes seem far removed from the real world in which most Tennesseans live. That is, until something like this happens. The mass shooting at Nashville's Covenant School followed years of debate over gun policy in the Tennessee legislature, debate that more often than not ended with nothing changing. Among those rushing to the place where parents hoped to be reunited with their children was the area's state senator.
I spent hours that seemed like days. I mean, it was a long day.
There, Heidi Campbell says she came face to face with families for whom she has fought.
And at one point in the congregation, I heard this primal scream come from this woman who had just found out that she'd lost her child, and I will never forget it. It was anguish. It was just horrible. Just nobody should ever have to go through that.
After the Parkland school shooting, then Governor Bill Haslam talked about the need to beef up school security.
Everything from school resource officers to physical improvements in the schools to video monitors.
And after Uvalde, Governor Bill Lee again wanted to talk school security.
We're not looking at gun restrictions or gun laws as a part of this school safety plan going forward.
Even after Covenant, Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally's first statement was about, you guessed it, school security. Do we have a school security problem?
No, I don't think that's the solution. We can't militarize our schools. And even if we could, we can't militarize them enough.
We also don't have a motive at this time.
In this case, police say the shooter was being treated for some sort of mental illness, but the shooter's family was powerless to do anything. It was a similar story for the shooter in Nashville's Antioch church shooting in 2017 and the Waffle House mass shooting in 2018.
We've been really working on this for a very long time.
Over and over, Democrats have pushed for a so-called red flag law that would allow the courts to take weapons out of the hands of such mentally unstable individuals.
This isn't about gun rights. It's about living rights.
Over and over, Tennessee's Republican majority refused to go along, with one member arguing that taking such a person's guns away might actually send them over the edge.
I'm afraid this will cause more escalated violence than less.
House Democratic leader Karen Camper.
They just don't believe it solves the problem. I mean, that's literally what some of them said. Guns, don't kill people. It's people that kill people. It's just been that kind of conversation.
Over and over.
Those opposed, no. No. The noes have it.
The result was the same.
they're not just doing nothing about this problem, they're every day working hard to make it worse, to make guns more prevalent.
Former State Representative Mike Stewart repeatedly tried to pass a law requiring universal background checks to keep firearms out of the hands of convicted felons, people accused of domestic violence, and the mentally ill.
I can equip myself to attack a school using Arms List and other sites on the internet, and with no background check, no restrictions of any kind, no restriction other than having cash in my pocket, I can get everything I need to attack that school.
Year after year,
Opposed, say no. No. Bill fails.
more of the same.
I hate to be a pessimist.
But,
It's a really, really tough issue.
and just weeks ago,
This bill is about illegal gun transfer. It's a very simple bill.
Heidi Campbell tried to pass a bill making it a misdemeanor to transfer a gun to a person knowing that person was legally prohibited from possessing a gun.
And obviously, that's pretty simple logic. But nonetheless, that didn't get any debate in committee.
With no debate,
Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Campbell got one Republican vote. The rest
Chairman, you have 3 ayes and 5 noes.
voted her bill down.
We just had on the floor, just yesterday, a bill that we passed to make it illegal to give a car to someone who is intoxicated, and yet we are not going to do the same when it comes to firearms.
What does that say about the state of our politics?
You know, I mean, in the final analysis, it says that we're not willing to protect our children.
After Covenant, some Republicans like Lieutenant Governor McNally are hinting they might now be willing to support a red flag law.
There's nothing that you could support, though, to restrict access to guns?
Not constitutionally.
Gun lobbyist John Harris argues that last year's Supreme Court decision known as Bruin means the Second Amendment is a near absolute prohibition on what some might view as common sense solutions.
If Republicans support a red flag law, will there be consequences at the ballot box from your group?
Oh, absolutely. And probably in the courts as well.
And you'll try to defeat any Republicans who go along with this?
We will look for challengers for anyone that violates Bruin.
Which advocates say means this community can only pray that these deaths in this city will convince lawmakers that doing the same thing over and over again isn't making us safer.
You know, there have been 367 shootings since Columbine, when we said never again. If this is the one time when we're going to make progress, then thank God.
Now, in recent years, there have been bills to fine gun owners who leave firearms in unlocked cars where they're often stolen and used in crimes. Those bills have failed. There was also a bill to simply require gun owners to notify police if a gun was lost or stolen. Failure to do so would have just required the person to take a gun safety class. And even that was voted down.
Phil, you talked with John Harris, the gun lobbyist. He's been a guest many times here, smart guy. He seemed defensive. Did he offer any kind of common sense solutions that he would approve of?
Well, I asked that question specifically, and he suggested giving teenagers more exposure to guns in schools, educating them so they'll know how to safely handle firearms, which is certainly not the kind of solution that these protesters are looking for.